Greetings, I'm Janre Epreman.
Good day everyone, my name is Brian Perity Reyes.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Bistilio.
Good day everyone. My name is Circulatory Constantino.
Hi, good morning. I'm Crystal Luis Santiago.
I'm Joyka M. Falamin.
Good day everyone, I'm Erica Jane M. Ramos.
You are now watching our video reporting about circulatory system or also known as cardiovascular system. At the end of this video, you are able to
Before we jump into the video discussion, we get or downloaded a music video about circulatory system or cardiovascular system that will serve as icebreaker and also to serve as to give you some insight on the topic that we are going to discuss. So this is the video.
Do you ever wonder why your heart's beating? It's an important organ part of your internal cardiovascular system. Along with your blood and your vessels, you breathe in, oxygen goes into your lungs and your heart pumps blood in, absorbing oxygen carried throughout your whole body. Stay healthy, oxygen to muscles and absorb carbon dioxide waste and cycles back to the same place. It's the size of your fist, sitting just behind your ribs, weighing less than a pound, pumping blood through all out. 6 quarts of blood in your system, upper chamber, CTTO, lower ventricles, blood in it, 60 to 100 beats per minute, and it's pumping blood, circulating, the soul's tainted. Your arteries are big, thick blood carries nutrients and oxygen. You're pumping blood upper chambers, the atrium, receiving blood in bottom chambers of the ventricles. They pump blood out loud. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. The largest one is the aorta, and it receives blood from the left ventricle part. Continuing circulatory, blood cells drip in liquid is known as the plasma, and your cell fragments called platelets help your blood form blood clots. There are 2 blood cell kinds, red and white. Red carries oxygen, hemoglobin, and white fights illness. When you get open, got your blood types you can be AB or AB. Each distinctive antigens, antibodies are different. See, blood goes through this full cycle. Every day keeps you alive, so to keep the system healthy, exercise plus eat your veggies, yo. Pumping blood, circulating, the soul's tainted. Your arteries are big, thick blood carries nutrients and oxygen. You're pumping blood upper chambers, the atrium, receiving blood in bottom chambers of the ventricles. They pump blood out loud. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum.
For the first part of this video, I am going to discuss what is circulatory system. Circulatory system is composed of different organs inside our body. It includes heart that pumps blood all throughout our body, blood vessels that is made up of tiny tunnels that carry blood to different areas of our body. It is made up of arteries that take oxygen to different places in our body, and veins that take carbon dioxide from body to the lungs. If you want to know or learn more about circulatory system, keep watching this video.
And I'm the one who will discuss to you the different functions of blood. Blood is a vital fluid in our bodies and perform many different functions. When you say vital fluid, it is necessary to our body cells to sustain living because the number 1 functions of blood is to supply oxygen from the heart to our body tissues. this process is carried by the red blood cells na kung saan pag nag-pump na yung heart natin ng dugo, nagko-convey na yon ng oxygen upang ma-deliver sa lahat ng cells natin or tissues para mabuhay ang mga ito. Aside from the oxygen, number 2 function sa blood is to deliver nutrients from food to our cells also para masustain yung living ng cells natin at tayo ay mabuhay. The number 3 function of blood is the removal of waste. Yung dugo kasi natin, hindi lang siya nagde-deliver ng oxygen at nutrients sa mga cells or tissues natin, kung hindi, nag-aalis din siya ng mga body waste including carbon dioxide sa mga ito at nililipat sa other areas upang ma-process at mailabas sa katawan natin. Number 4, defense against diseases and infection of foreign materials. So, ang responsible naman dito is yung ating white blood cells. Sila yung tumutulong upang mapalakas yung immune system natin at malabanan at ang iba't ibang infeksyon. The number 5 blood function is the clotting and prevention of blood loss. Pansinin nyo kapag nagkasugat tayo, di ba dumudugo sa una pero kapag nagtagal ay unti-unti itong namumuo at yun ang tinatawag na blood clot. No, kung saan tinatakpan niyon ang open hood natin at para masigurado na hindi na dudugo ang sugat natin. And next function is to regulate and maintain the body temperature. Yung responsable din sa ating temperatura ay ang dugo natin. The last function of blood is to transporting hormones to various system. For example nito is yung insulin. Yung insulin kasi ay nabubuo sa ating digestive system at umiikot ito sa ating mga dugo. Inaalaw nito ang ating mga cells upang ma-absorb yung sugar mula sa kinakain natin at para hindi tayo magkasakit ng diabetes.
And my report is, what is blood components? Red blood cells or erythrocytes. These are the most common cells in the blood. These cells contain a special protein called hemoglobin that allows them to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide within the bloodstream. This function makes the cells extremely important. Yan, ang red blood cells po ay isa sa pinakakaraniwang blood cells po. Ito po ay naglalaman ng special na protein na tinatawag na hemoglobin na nag-aalaw po na magdala ng oxygen at carbon dioxide sa daluyan ng dugo o bloodstream na tinatawag. Next po ay ang white blood cells or leukocytes. These cells are part of the immune system, acting to defend the body from infectious diseases or intruding cells. They destroy and remove old cells and debris from the blood, while also attacking foreign diseases, causing agents, and foreign substances in the body. White blood cells daw po ay part ng immune system at ito po ay kumikilos upang ingatan o protektahan ng ating katawan sa mga pumapasok na sakit o sa mga pumapasok na cell. Next po is platelets or thrombocytes. These cells are responsible for the clotting of blood, also referred to as coagulation when the skin is cut. These cells create a mesh-like barrier over the cut. Other blood cells become caught in the mesh and collect to form a clot, which stops blood from leaving the body and prevents bacteria from entering the bloodstream. Platelets are very important in tissue healing. Yan, ang platelets daw po ay responsible sa pamumuno ng dugo. At sinasabi din dito na ang iba pang mga blood cells ay nakikita sa mesh at nagko-collect upang makabuo ng clot. At pinipigilan din nito ang bakterya na pumasok sa bloodstream o sa daluyan ng dugo. And then, last po ay plasma. Plasma is the liquid component of blood that the cells are suspended in. It accounts for around 50% of the total volume of blood and contains things like cell proteins, glucose, and platelets, as well as the blood cells themselves. Sabi po dito na ang plasma ay nagkakaroon ito ng halos 50% na dami ng dugo. At naglalaman din po ito ng mga bagay tulad ng dissolved proteins, glucose at platelets, pati na rin ang mga blood cells.
We're going to discuss the heart and its components. First, what is heart? Heart is a muscular organ about the size of our fist. It pumps blood through your body. It is made up of multiple layers of tissues. Your heart is at the center of your circulatory system. It is located just behind and slightly left of the breastbone. The heart pumps blood through the network of arteries and veins called cardiovascular system. The right side of your heart receives oxygen-poor blood from your veins and pumps it to your lungs, where it picks up oxygen and gets rid of the carbon dioxide. The left side of your heart receives oxygen-rich blood from your lungs and pumps it through your arteries to the rest of your body. There are 4 major functions of cardiovascular system, which are to transport nutrients, gases, and waste products around the body, to protect the body from infections and blood loss, to help the body maintain a constant body temperature, and to help maintain fluid balance within the body. Heart is composed of pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, left atrium, mitral valve, aortic valve, left ventricle, aorta, superior vena cava, right atrium, tricuspid valve, pulmonary valve, right ventricle, and septum.
My report is chambers and valves of the heart. When we say chambers and valves, the heart has 2 upper and 2 lower chambers. The upper chamber is the left and the right atria who receive incoming blood. And the lower chamber is the right and left ventricles who pump blood out of your heart. The heart valve serves as gates to keep blood flowing into the right direction. So sinasabi dito na ang ating puso daw ay merong upper chamber, the right and the left atria who receives incoming blood. And the lower chamber naman, the right and left ventricles who pump blood out of your heart. When we say valves naman, the valves prevent the backward flow of blood. So yung valves daw ay nagre-prevent na hindi mag-backward flow ang ating pagdaloy ng dugo dahil kailangan lang dito ay tuloy-tuloy na daloy ng dugo. Hindi siya pwedeng huminto, hindi siya pwedeng mag-backward. Ang kailangan lang ay tuloy-tuloy ng daloy ng dugo dahil ang valves ay nagsisilbing gates to keep blood flowing into the right direction. So the heart has 4 valves, the mitral valve and the tricuspid valve, which control blood flow from the atria to the ventricles. So yung mitral valve and tricuspid valve daw, siya kumukontrol ng daloy ng ating dugo na galing sa atria patungo sa ventricle. So the aortic valve and the pulmonary valve naman, which control blood flow out of the ventricle. So yung aortic valve and the pulmonary valve naman daw, siya kumukontrol ng daloy ng dugo natin patungo o palabas naman siya ng ventricles. So when we say chambers of the heart naman, the heart has 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. And the right atrium receive oxygen-poor blood from the body and pump it to the right ventricle. So yung right atrium daw, siya yung rumireceive ng oxygen at mababang dugo na galing sa ating katawan, ipapump niya to papunta sa right ventricle. And the right ventricle naman pumps the oxygen poor blood to the lungs. Yung right ventricle daw, siya yung nagpapumps ng oxygen o yung mababang dugo natin patungo sa lungs natin. So the left atrium receives oxygen rich blood from the lungs and pumps it to the left ventricle. So yung left atrium, siya naman yung receive na ng oxygen at mataas na siya yung blood natin or mayaman na yung blood natin or basta mataas yun na galing sa ating lungs at ipapump niya ito sa left ventricle. And the left ventricle pumps the oxygen rich blood to the body. Yung left ventricle, siya na yung parang way na magkakalat na ng oxygen o yung mataas na dugo na natin sa ating katawan.
Understanding blood flow through the heart is absolutely critical for beginning understanding the cardiac system. Let's get started. Oxygen-poor blood returns from the body to the heart. Blood returns to the heart via the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. Blood deep enters to the right atrium. After the right atrium is filled with blood, it contracts with open the tricuspid valve. Blood flows from the right atrium, through the tricuspid valve, and into the right atrium. Once the right ventricle fills with blood, the tricuspid valve is forced closed and the right ventricle contracts. Blood is pushed through the pulmonary valve and into the pulmonary artery which go to the lungs. In the lungs, blood undergoes changes which makes the blood oxygen rich. Oxygenated blood flows from the lungs back to the heart by way of pulmonary vein and into the left atrium. The left atrium fills with blood and contracts, opening the mitral valve, filling the left ventricle. The left ventricle contracts, which open the aortic valve and forces oxygenated blood through the aorta and rest of the lung.
The next topic is cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle is the sequence of events that occurs when the heart beats. There are two phases of this cycle. First is the diastole. Diastole represents the period of time when the ventricles are relaxed. Throughout most of this period, blood is passively flowing from the left atrium and right atrium into the left ventricles and right ventricles respectively. The blood flows through atrioventricular valves that separates the atria from the ventricles. The right atrium receives venous blood from the body through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. So the left atrium receives oxygenated blood from lungs through pulmonary veins that enter the left atrium. At the end of dystole, both atria contract, which propels an additional amount of blood into the ventricles. So next phase is the systole. Systole represents the time during which the left and right ventricles contract and eject blood into the aorta and pulmonary artery, respectively. During systole, the aortic and pulmonary valves open to permit ejection into the aorta and pulmonary artery. The atrioventricular valves are closed during systole. Therefore, no blood is entering the ventricles. However, blood continues to enter the atria through the vena cava and pulmonary veins. So systole when the heart is contracting and diastole is when the heart is relaxing.
I'm here to present to you the blood vessels and its three major types. So first, let us define what is blood vessels. A blood vessel is a tubular structure carrying blood through our tissues and organs, a capillary, vein, or artery. So sabi ko nga kanina sa definition ng blood vessel, it is a tubular structure. So pag sinabi natin tubular, parang tubo. So sa bahay natin, meron tayong tubo na dinadaluyan ng tubig. So sa body natin, meron din tayong tubo, pero dumadaloy dito is blood. At ito nga yung tinatawag nating blood vessels. So now, let us proceed to the three types of blood vessels. These are the artery, veins, and capillaries. So first, what is arteries? Arteries is a blood vessels that carries oxygen rich in food from the heart to the tissues of the body, and it carries oxygenated blood. So sa arteries naman, meron siyang oxygenated blood kung saan ang oxygen nito is may nutrients. And nanggagaling ito sa lungs natin, and ito is nagsusupply ng nutrients sa ating buong katawan. So next is veins. Veins are blood vessels that carries blood towards the heart, and it carries the oxygenated blood from the tissues back to the heart. So sa veins naman, meron siyang deoxygenated blood. So ano nga ba ang deoxygenated blood? Ang deoxygenated blood, dito nagdadala ng basura para itapon. So, kumukuha yung blood natin sa buong katawan ng basura at itadala ito sa lungs natin. Itatapon yung basura ng katawan natin through exhalation. And the last type of blood vessel is the capillaries. So, what is capillaries? Capillaries is a very tiny blood vessels. It is so small that a single red blood cells can barely fit through them. Capillaries also helps to connect your veins and arteries in addition to facilitating the exchange of certain elements between your blood tissues. So, yung capillaries naman, ito yung gitna ng artery at veins natin. So, if the deoxygenated blood runs in the vein and the oxygenated blood runs in the arteries, sa capillaries naman, dito napapalitan yung deoxygenated blood, nagiging oxygenated blood na nagsusupply ng nutrients sa body natin.
That is all for this video. I hope you find this video knowledgeable and understandable too. So if you have questions or want to clarify something, just comment it in the comment section. Once again, good day everyone and God bless. Let us radiate positivity and always remember that keep ourselves safe from the virus.